You're listening to Flawda Girls Diaries, Episode 5. They say this story comes from the pages of a Flawda Girl's diary. It may be a girl I know. Maybe she's me. Maybe she ain't. Is it true? Almost entirely. Tuesday, February 14th, 2023, 4:13 p.m. It's been a while since I've been dancing. One thing I told my boyfriend is that people don't dance anymore. I told him that I aspired to dance. Not professionally, but I wanted to be on someone's dance floor, grooving like Michael Jackson when he does the sway, the rock, and the snap. I danced around the house a lot and used to go to the clubs a ton when I was in college. Every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and sometimes Sunday. And we danced. We danced until the sun came up. Literally. Me and my friends would go to a party Thursday night that wouldn't end until 4 a.m. Parties where we could find mature men with money and experience. The closest club was an hour away, and we drove. By the time we got back to campus Friday morning, it was almost 7 in the morning. No time to head to the dorm and shower, so straight to class I went, in my club clothes and all. A night I'll never forget is the Halloween party my freshman year. I showed up to my exam the next morning dressed like Wednesday Addams. I still passed the class with an 89.99%. An A- would have felt amazing for 0.01 second. But fuck that, cause we turned the fuck up. And that's where I met my boo, my bae, my man. He was dressed as Captain Jack Sparrow. He stole my heart with that eyeliner. It was rogue. Something about a black man dressed in rags, roughing it out on a mission to find hidden treasure just tickled me in all the right places. I wanted to go with him on that mission and keep his telescope warm so he could see. That's what I think the purpose of a woman is, to make sure a nigga sees straight. When Outstanding by the Gap Band came on, we jumped to our feet and danced. He was so smooth with it. If a man can dance, he can surely put things down properly. Our vibrations were on a higher level. Then he opened his mouth and sang to me. You light my fire, I'm satisfied. And his name was Charlie? That's when I knew I was gonna marry this man. I knew. It's been 10 years since we've graduated, and I've spent a great deal of time being submissive and letting my sweet baby take the lead. He truly is an amazing boyfriend. He considers me, encourages me, and pleases me in ways that make it damn near impossible for me to ever think about another man. I get that there are independent women out there, but I want a family, and I want to be married and in a committed relationship. He knows this. I've made it clear. I can't be somebody's 30-year-old girlfriend with no house, no kids, and nothing but these community college degrees we got years ago. So he better put a ring on it tonight, then knock me up, or he might need to find another 20-something girl to play with. I hate how harsh this sounds, and I'm sure I'll find a better way to say this to him if he doesn't propose tonight. But I'm tired of having this conversation. I've resorted to leaving hints, planting bridal magazines around the house, sending him photos of our friends and their weddings, honeymoons, and gender reveal photos. He seems to be lost. But after 10 years, you'd think he'd be trying to shoot up the club and solidify his legacy already. But I get it. Men don't need to rush. They've got viable sperm at 162 years old. I've made myself clear. I don't want to be 45 and pregnant. That can't feel good. I hate to give him an ultimatum, but I think a little push is necessary to get these men on the right track. If not, they'll be out here sowing their seeds about the Garden of Eden. No real thought for the alignment of crops. What am I saying right now? Let me put out this blunt and finish getting ready for our dinner date. Wednesday, February 15th, 2023, 1:25 a.m. With a lavender vanilla candle lit, Pinot Noir in my glass refilled to the rim after taking it to the head, and the lusty contralto breath from heaven that is Toni Braxton's Let It Flow on repeat to set the mood. Where do I begin? Where do I begin? He sent a car for me, though I would have preferred he picked me up. I love intimate rides together, but it was clear he didn't want to be trapped in the car with me. He knew I had expectations for the night. Big ones. I arrived at the venue where that magical Halloween party was hosted when we were in college, and my heart melted. We hadn't been here since graduating. I got butterflies in my stomach. It was happening. I just knew it was happening. I walked in and the dance floor was full. People were on their feet dancing and having a good time. The place was decorated almost the exact way it was that meet-cute night of ours. Looking through the crowd, I recognized everyone from town. Even a few people from college I hadn't seen in years. We exchanged hugs and kisses before he led me to our private table. I would have preferred he rented the place out just for us, but this was nostalgic, and I was gonna get to dance. We were served jerk salmon and salad. It was seasoned to perfection. A champagne bottle on ice rested at the center of the table. The waiter brought us both a glass. I stared at the glass extra hard to see if there was a ring at the bottom. Then Charlie said, "I want to make a toast." I raised my glass and there was no bling bling, but the night was still young. He said, "Happy Valentine's Day, babe. Here's to 10 years of being together, loving each other and being best friends. I want nothing more than to spend the rest of my life with you. I love you." My eyes started to water, but I caught the tears just in time to save my makeup. We ate dinner and we laughed, catching up on our day, reminiscing on the past, and encouraging each other for the future. But then the night began to feel more like a joint Valentine's Day party. We were approached and forced to mingle with old friends from college and people from around town. It was exhausting. One couple came and sat with us for a bit, intrusively. Over-familiarity is the death of all interactions. I was annoyed to find out that they were already married with 2 kids and they just wouldn't shut up about the way to do things and the way not to do things. That's when the conversation came up. "When are you guys gonna tie the knot? What y'all waiting for?" Charlie answered for us and said, "Well, we've got time. There's no rush. But of course, we are eventually." With a forced smile, I asked, "When did you 2 get married? I don't remember getting an invite." The wife responded, "We went to the courthouse. He can't afford the wedding, I won't." We all chuckled lightly. She was a jokester. But was she joking? I find myself looking at men when their women speak. Men always look like they need to be saved from these conversations. He didn't say much. He took a few sips as she continued to ramble on about wanting to have another baby. But this time, she wanted a water birth. Whatever. I found myself outside of my own body somehow. It's as if I was watching myself in the middle of this unexpected double date on Valentine's Day with nothing to say. Charlie and I barely spoke after that. I don't know if he noticed. He seemed to be having so much fun once the husband started chatting with him off to the side, leaving me in the midst of my misery as this woman babbled on about the struggles of being a working mother and wife. Maybe it wasn't showing on my blank face, as I hardly opened my mouth. I began to think that this may be the way he likes it. Me not asking questions, me just listening. The night was ultimately lame as fuck. There wasn't even a DJ. Well, there was, but he wasn't a real DJ. He was playing music from Pandora's playlist. Not a single song came on that inspired me. I didn't get to dance. My mama cried. "He's a good man, Savannah," this morning when I told her I had ended things with Charlie. Waiting for him to give me a ring so I can exhale will have me asphyxiated. Her standards are questionable. She's been my dad's girlfriend since my conception, and he gets locked up once a year. Possession, petty theft, battery, resisting arrest. I'm the only child he's got with my mother, but I still somehow have 8 younger siblings. Or 9. I can't keep up, and I won't. Charlie is nowhere near as bad as my father. I wouldn't have spent 10 years with him if I thought he was a maniac. But do my standards have to continue to be so low? He's a procrastinator, and I'm here on earth to get shit done. To live a full life. He'll call me when he needs his rib back. Speaking of, an odd choice of God. That's why our sexes are at odds now. Tuesday, February 28th, 2023, 3:49 a.m. I'm trying my best, singing severely off-key and at the top of my lungs so the neighbors can hear. He proposed to me. He proposed with a diamond ring. I started crying. He placed it on my finger and I said yes. Kelly is singing the anthem to my soul. My man heard the message and delivered it on time. A ring big enough and bright enough to make the girls do a double take. He claimed he was waiting until my birthday to pop the big question. That was a stupid idea. My birthday is June 24th, but this wedding is happening before that, or else. Just kidding, but not really. I need the edge to get this done, so fuck his feelings. I'm like Jordan, ready to make the game-winning shot. Nothing is standing in my way of getting what I want. So, how it happened. He texted me and asked me to meet him at our favorite restaurant. He said he wanted to discuss our relationship and try to understand how I was feeling. I went and got my hair and my nails done. I bought a new fragrance of perfume and a new skin-tight dress. I wanted him to look at me and know what he was missing, what he lost. I arrived at the restaurant and found a place crowded with people. I didn't look around this time. I didn't want another run-in with some random annoying friend from around the way. He should have rented the place out for me. But I guess I'll drive myself crazy trying to imagine the most creative, loving, generous way of proposing. And maybe that's wrong. He's the one proposing, so he should get a say in how he does it. If I want someone to bake me a cake, I can't just tell them how to do it and expect it to be perfectly the way I asked. And what's the point of baking your own cake when you want someone else to bake it for you? I was escorted to my seat, and he stood and pulled out the chair for me. We sat down, and he pretty much said that he missed me. Then he complimented me on my new perfume. He gave me way more eye contact than he had ever given before. Told me that he loved me, and that he was sorry Valentine's Day hadn't gone as expected. I believed him. He told me he was grateful for me being in his life and couldn't see a life without me. He put the ring box on the table and said, "This is something I've been wanting to give you for a while, but I didn't have the courage, for one, and I didn't feel the urgency. I want you to know that I take our relationship very seriously, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, if you'll have me. The ring box brought tears to my eyes. I didn't know what to say. I had never heard such deep words from him. I looked at him and I told him, "You've got trauma, and so do I. We're always dealing with family and friends and the pressures of everyday life, and sometimes we forget about each other. But I think this marriage will be a reminder that all we really need is each other." He got down on one knee and opened the box. It was a breathtaking single diamond cut ring, my taste. He said, "Savannah Yvonne Robinson, will you marry me?" And I said, "Charlie Trent Washington, yes." As soon as I yelled yes, all the people around us jumped up and started screaming congratulations and clapping. I looked around and recognized everyone I knew. My mom, his mom, our siblings, cousins, and closest friends. My Uncle Wilson's funk band approached the stage and the lights changed to a spotlight for us to dance. Charlie's sister, TT, brought plenty of hash, and it got hazy as the band played Outstanding on a church loop. Everybody was up on their feet, two-stepping, bopping, and sliding. I was the highest. I felt exalted. It was indeed a beautiful night, and I got to dance. 6:46 a.m. This journal is going to make it much easier to plan this wedding. Might share this with my children one day so they can see what their mommy had to go through to get them here. I'm Janet in control. And yes, I'm listening to that song right now. Full blast in my earbuds as Charlie snores, booty poking out the covers. He has such a pretty ass. I want to kiss it. But I need to start planning this wedding. I couldn't even sleep. Soon as we finished having sex, he literally passed out and my eyes were wide open, staring at my engagement ring. I tried to close my eyes, hoping REM would take hold of me. But I stayed in one lucid type of imaginative dream about what my wedding day would be like. I don't want to get into dreaming about the perfect day, running off on a dream journey, hoping reality matches what I saw in my head. Although they say visualizing helps you get close enough, I need to temper my expectations. We'll have to move wisely with only 3 months and probably a little over $10,000 to spend. We're not rich, and we don't have the kind of parents who are going to help pay for this. I won't get started on my dad. We'll have to move smart. Everyone just needs to listen to me and do what I say. Guest list. Lord, have mercy on my soul. I'm going to say 50 max. 25 for him and 25 for me. That seems fair. Might need to drop it to 40, just to weed out the crazies who ain't gonna bring a gift. My mom and Miss Washington will have to do all the cooking. My nearest sister Diamond and Charlie's sister TT are bridesmaids, and his 2 brothers groomsmen. Maya's gonna want me to have it at the church, and Mama won't go if it's not, so there's that. Bishop won't charge much. He might just want a church donation. I'll go to Beauty Trendsetters to get my hair and makeup done. Mama told me she wants me to wear the dress she wore when she married Pawpaw. She's a seamstress, so I told her we could figure something out together. It's old, but she's the only woman I've known to have a successful marriage, so I feel like I need to use a piece of the dress for good luck or something. Maybe I'll ask her to use the fabric to make me a veil and a garter. She'll like that a lot. Ultimately, she wants to make my dress, and I want that too. Just checked my calendar and forgot that Mama and I are headed to the county jail to see my dad today. We always go see him together when he's locked up. She thinks that he needs support there, so I continue to go out of respect. I'm kinda over it and over him at this point. I hate to even be writing about him right now. Even the thought of him is ruining my mood. But I'm gonna go shower and prepare to meet my maker. I haven't even thought about him walking me down the aisle. It feels crazy to write this, but I don't know if I want him to. He might be locked up. That'll solve it. And now I don't want to go there and tell him I'm getting married. He's supposed to be out in a month, so technically he could and might expect to. I might want Uncle Wilson or somebody else to walk me. I might walk alone, 'cause ain't no daddy been around to give me anything, let alone away. My mind is wrecked and I feel my blood pressure rising. I wish my sissy Diamond could come. She's a few years older than me and has been more like a guardian angel than a big sister. She'd hold my hand and be like, "Sis, how he feels ain't none of your concern." And then I'd breathe. We don't have the same daddy, but hers ain't around much either. And jail ain't what's keeping her from seeing hers. He just don't care. That's a whole other breed right there. I've got to calm down. I don't want to go to this visit with bad energy. I'm going to have Janet's Funny How Time Flies playing in one ear all day. I think it'll calm me. 8:32 p.m. I'll never feel safe visiting a jailhouse. I've been visiting that place on and off since I was 12. It's crazy my dad isn't tired of going there. The filth, the degradation, no window into a better future. But I think he's come to accept his place in life, and I think he's grown to feel comfortable being there. It's like a vacation for him at this point. Maybe he feels like a rock star dad going on tour, only he's not returning with more fame and money. He's returning with a record and requests. My mom has always been so loyal to him. When he's locked up, she's there. When he's out, she's there. A random girl gets pregnant, and she's there. Her forgiveness is debilitating. Sometimes I imagine the kind of wedding I'd have if my parents did something with their lives. I see weddings on TV and even on Instagram. People I've known who have had the most extravagant weddings. I know that's not what marriage is about, and it's bound to succeed or fail at the percentage it always has. But it can be a symbol of one's success, the work one has done to get them to this place. A wedding on some private, luxurious island, or some cathedral that rings bells or some shit. What did a person have to do to afford all that? Not be in and out of the Palm Beach Penitentiary. I can't even count on my dad being out of the pen, let alone paying for some wedding. We arrived, and as usual, there was this smell in the place. Febreze masking the mold, dust, and rust of the place. They check you and vet you like you're a criminal yourself, but we've been there enough times to where people know us, so they don't frisk us as intensely. But it's still a process I hate. We get to the visiting area and we wait. I always find myself looking around at other people and their disposition in the room. Are they happy to be here? Disappointed? Ready to leave? I don't know. The wait was too long today, so I played solitaire on my phone and kept Janet rolling in my ear until I saw him exit from the steel doors. Handcuffed to the front, he smiled a little, more at Mom than me. The bulk of the conversation was my dad speaking on being lonely and feeling tired this time around. Usually, he serves 6 months or so, but this time, it's been almost 10 months. She keeps trying to convince him to marry her, saying that if he gets locked up again and it gets worse, they can have conjugal visits. It pains me that my mother has found herself negotiating to this degree. I sat there and smiled and tried to show support. I figured that's all I'm here for at this point. And then, finally, my dad looks at my finger, not even at my face or in my eyes the whole time until now. He says, "What's that?" He's an idiot. I said, "I'm doing well, Dad. Thanks for asking. And he blows up. That's why I ain't speak to you. You always got a stuck-up ass attitude like you better than me. I said, I didn't say that. He rambled for a bit to my mom as she tried to calm things down. She told him that I was engaged, and we came here to give him the good news. He goes, well, where's the little nigga at? He should be here asking my permission. You already got the ring on your hand as backwards as y'all women. I've come to tune my dad out. I've been doing it since I was a kid. There's this moment in communication where everything stops. I can see him yelling at me, and I see myself standing there, waiting for him to shut up. Once a man starts yelling, just let him finish. Mama always says, as a woman, you might be in danger around an angry man. The guard told him to quiet down. He continued quietly, ain't no wedding until that nigga has a grown man conversation with me. My mom said, we can make that happen. I told them both, hell no. There was no way I was forcing Charlie to come to the jailhouse to ask my dad, a man who isn't married and doesn't intend to get married and can't give anybody advice on marriage, not ever, permission to marry me. That's wild and insane. I ended the visit, letting him know that his permission wouldn't be asked. It wasn't needed. I made it clear that if he's out of jail in time, he might be able to give me away. But he has to respect my decision and respect Charlie. But he's volatile and unpredictable. I don't think he respects me as a woman or my mother, and I regretted even showing up for him. Should have just had the wedding and told him after. He makes me second guess a wedding altogether. Eloping would be better than having him there causing a scene. Saturday, March 18th, 2023, 2:43 p.m. Spent the day going over the menu and guest list with my mom and Charlie. He's moving as expected, as if the only thing he needs to contribute is the ring. He still hasn't put his list together, saying, babe, you know who I know. Just invite whoever you want. Some men might see this day as a dream come true, a chance to show the woman they love just how much they love her. But I guess I should just be satisfied that he got the ring. Men ain't really proposing these days, so maybe it's on me to make this the best, most memorable wedding we both could imagine. He just wants me to show up and to have a red velvet cake and a gin and juice bowl. Niggas. Spoke to my dad today while at my mom's place. The collect calls are coming in more frequently. She said he'd called almost every day since I told him about the engagement. Is this love? Does he care? I hate to question why he cares so much all of a sudden. He asked to speak to Charlie on the phone, and it was awkward, of course. He snidely told Charlie he hadn't heard much about him, which was a stupid way to start the conversation. I've been with Charlie for 10 years. The only reason he hasn't heard much about him is because he hasn't been around, and he doesn't ask. But Charlie was a gentleman and kept his cool. Charlie has a way with words that disarms people. He said to my dad, you know how Savannah is. She wants us men to mind our business. My dad started laughing. I found myself smiling, too. I could appreciate him trying. After my dad hung up, my mom started her mending of the broken home. She goes, so you think you want to let your daddy give you away? It'll be good for him. What about what's good for me? I told her I'd think about it, but the more I thought about it, the more sick I felt. My heart began to beat at an accelerated pace. My palms dripped sweat as my mom continued, you know what it means for a father to give his daughter away? Don't be cruel. Cruel is showing up to my 14th birthday campfire party drunk and pissing on the fire we made for s'mores, then sneaking into my friend's tent thinking it was someone's mom. Cruel is sleeping with every friend Mom brings around and conceiving random, weird-ass children that I'm supposed to call siblings. Cruel is putting multiple credit cards in my name as a child that went to collections that I'm still trying to recover from. I don't know that I can continue recapping this man's rap sheet, 'cause I might just turn his ass in for fraud. I told Charlie I was ready to leave. What I love about Charlie is that he responds to me delicately, to who I am in the moment. He pays attention. He grabbed my sweaty palm, held it tight, and said, "Whatever you want to do, wherever you want to go, I'm with you." Wednesday, March 29th, 2023, 3:11 a.m. Took the day off work so that Charlie and I could get our marriage license. So awkward, but I ran into my ex from high school. He was waiting in the child support line. So funny because he cheated on me and got one of the bap-ass neighborhood girls pregnant. Now look where we are. Getting our license was pretty easy until the stank, gum-smacking desk associate asked us a duh question I hadn't thought of. "Can you confirm that you are not relatives?" Charlie said, "No, we're not." So quickly. But how could we be so sure? My mind hesitated a bit, like, could he be my cousin? I hear cousin marriages are legal here, but who really knows? He probably is my cousin somewhere down the line, but as long as it's not a close line, what the hell? We signed the papers, waved goodbye to my ex, who was still in the same place in line, went home, made frozen strawberry daiquiris, listened to the quiet storm, and made sweet love to each other all night. Sunday, April 23rd, 2023, 10:21 p.m. Church today was a little fun and a little nerve-wracking. They hired a new choir director and she's been bringing the heat. She added 2 new songs by Kiara Shear to the set list, so they might have me sitting close to the front next time. Still near the back, close to the aisle, I stood, danced, clapped, and I hadn't done that in a while. Charlie's an usher, believe it or not. He guards the front door so no one enters during moments like prayer, so I always sit in the back, to be next to him and to the parking lot. My mom sat in the second row behind Mama, who's our church mother, and she caught the Holy Ghost today. Real bad. Like she fell out and no one was there to catch her silly ass. That's another reason why I sit in the back. It is and has always been embarrassing. My mom is always one to put on a show, asking Bishop to pray for Daddy, me, and all his children. Whether she's actually catching the spirit is still up for debate. After service, we had counseling with Bishop Chisholm. He gave some insights on how he's maintained his marriage for 47 years. He gave us a marriage questionnaire and told us we passed with flying colors. He said his only concern was that we both didn't seem to have good relationships with our fathers, and he felt like that would show up in our marriage, not having an example of a secure man around. He said he wanted to see me in the front row and requested that I be more involved. I don't want to be up in the church all the time. Been there and done that. Sundays are enough. And with these 5-hour services, he's barely got me that entire time. I told him I'd think about it after the wedding. Maybe I could teach Sunday school. I'm already a preschool teacher, so it wouldn't be too much of a departure from what I know. Then he asked me the question everyone wants to know. If my dad was going to give me away. I told him I hadn't decided. He gave me a spiel about honoring your father and your mother so that you may live long. I asked him if I could walk down the aisle on my own. He goes, well, I suppose you could. There's no law or commandment against it. But you'll regret it. Regardless of who your father has been, he's still your father in God's eyes. This is why I only come on Sundays. It's my wedding. I thought the bride got whatever she wanted. When did my wedding become about my father? Again. Over and over again. At every turn, there's a man I gotta debate with to get to the next level of my life. And it appears that God's on that list too. Saturday, May 5th, 2023, 9:43 p.m. Today was an absolute dream. Charlie surprised me with a photo shoot for our engagement. I wasn't expecting it at all. He told me we would taste the cake his mother was making, but instead, we took beautiful photos by the Love Oak Tree. It's a massive oak tree in our childhood neighborhood that everyone carves their initials into when they're in love. We did it during our 5-year anniversary and actually found our carvings. We looked like Southern country bumpkins, and I loved it. It was warm, and the sun was shining its Flawda's brightest. We talked about our love, our dreams and aspirations. I finally feel like we're on the same page about everything. We ended things with a romantic picnic, which was also a part of the photo shoot. And we actually tasted the cake. That's what he had in the basket. We're going with red velvet and strawberry icing, my baby's favorite. Saturday, May 18th, 2023, 2:43 p.m. Charlie and I decided to have a joint wedding shower and then have the girls and guys hang out separately the night before the wedding. He knows my boundaries. No naked hoes, and we're good. You don't need to see anything else. We're good. You're good. Catch a flick if you need to, but we don't need titties and asses causing confusion the night before the ceremony. He agreed. Sunday, May 19th, 2023, 5:59 a.m. Life is full of surprises, and if you don't like surprises, you'll have a hard time getting through this shit without killing someone. My dad surprised us at the wedding shower last night. I guess they moved his release date up. My mom, with no boundaries, thought it would be a good idea to make it a big thing to show me that he's gonna be there for me during the wedding. Once again, outside my body, I watched him turn my wedding shower into a jail release party. Even the music style went from quiet storm, love-making music to death row records. Charlie pulled me to the side and suggested I embrace my dad and welcome him on being home. He said, "I feel like you're making this harder than it needs to be." I wanted to slap the shit out of him. Bro, don't minimize my feelings. If I don't want his ass around because he makes me feel uncomfortable and triggered to the point where I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack, then he needs to leave. I'm always fighting for what I need, only to get an unworthy portion of my request. I should have slapped him. Instead, I said, "Okay, Charlie, whatever." He tried to soften the blow with, "It's just one day. But it's not just about us. It's about our family and the people who love us. He's a creep, but it's the best memory he'll probably get." I heard him, but it hurt me to my core to do something so kind for him, feeling like there wasn't and has never been anything in it for me. Dad pulled me to the side and we talked. He said he was sorry for snapping at me during our visit. He said that he loves me, and he wants to be able to give his firstborn daughter away. It was hard to believe him because I could smell the liquor on his breath. I get it. You're celebrating, but the fact that you don't see that you're having more fun than me is the problem. My head and my body said, don't do it. But then, the other part of me said out loud, sure, Dad, you can give me away. Something deep down tells me he'll be locked up again by the time that day comes. Then everyone can shut the fuck up about it and let me have my day. Saturday, June 3rd, 2023, 4:55 p.m. Literally, the only experience to go unscathed in my memory will probably be today. The day my 80-year-old mama showed me the dress she made for me. She's literally the sweetest part of this journey for me. I love my dress. It fit almost perfectly. Ma knows every inch of me. She always tells me I've got her 1955 body when she was pulling all the gentlemen from the city. She made me feel like a Disney princess, Tiana to be specific. So when the dress didn't fit, she asked me if I'd gained any weight. She looked at my stomach and said, "When's the last time you bled, child?" My heart dropped. I couldn't remember, and I'd been bloated for weeks. 5:30 p.m. I have a pregnancy test sitting on the counter. I haven't checked it yet. We've been having so much sex these past few months. It was bound to happen. Engagement sex hits different. I've been basking in it wildly. 5:40 p.m. I am fucking pregnant. What the fucking fuck? Monday, June 5th, 2023, 4:55 p.m. I'm definitely pregnant. About 10 weeks. Charlie and I took an official test at the doctor this morning. He was so excited, and that felt good. But as we listened to the heartbeat, a fear took over my body, a panic. The thought, oh no, I have to do it already. I haven't had time to be a wife yet. I have to do it better than my parents, somehow. The thought, how can I be a good parent with terrible parents, crowded my mind. Charlie assured me that we'd be amazing parents. He had the nerve to say that he's more excited about the baby than the wedding. Men. We decided not to tell anyone other than Mama until after we get married. Friday, June 23rd, 2023, 7:43 a.m. It's my wedding day. Everything is in order. My dress fits. Mama even lifted the waist to cover my little pudge. It was totally ruining the shape of the dress. I spent the night with my mom, sister, and friends. As soon as they pulled out the drinking games, they knew I was pregnant. My sister was like, "Bitch, you a child," after she heard me say, "I don't want to drink tonight. I want my skin fresh for the wedding photos, and liquor dries it out." They all screamed with joy and wouldn't stop rubbing my stomach. You can't keep these things from women. They're too damn nosy and always in your head. I drank sparkling water shots and watched them all get fucked up. A good time was had, especially when the Uno cards came out. I spoke to Charlie this morning, and he said the bachelor party went well, for the most part. He said my dad came for a bit, but things got a little rough. He claims that they were having drinks, and my dad kept saying, "Where the girls at?" Charlie told him that out of respect for me, he wasn't going to have women at the party, just drinks with the guys. He said my dad started calling him a pussy and saying, "Your marriage ain't gonna last if you ain't cheating." I can't say that I was expecting my dad to give good marital advice, but to try and convince my future husband to cheat is beyond me. He said my dad eventually gave up and left with some random woman. Guess where my mom was? Up all night cooking for the wedding. I called him, and he didn't answer. So I left a message on his phone telling him he was officially uninvited to my wedding. Simple and plain. I don't have time. I don't have any remorse, and he will not continue to get in my way. Woosah. I won't lose my shit. I won't lose my shit. I won't lose my shit. Saturday, June 24th, 2023, 5:50 a.m. It's my 30th birthday. I made it happen. Married before 30. I'll be a mother before I'm 31. So I guess I'm efficient. In the passenger seat, headed for Sanibel Island. I'm most excited about kayaking and laying out on the beach. Charlie and I will be spending 2 weeks there. A much-needed getaway. My wedding day wasn't what I dreamt of, but it was what I expected. I keep longing for the day when those two things meet and fuck the shit out of each other and impregnate each other. I'm tired. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't even know how to recap the day. Everything was perfect until it wasn't. And then it was perfect again. It's perfect now. Let me start by saying I was the most beautiful bride I've ever seen on a budget. These Instagram models had nothing on me. Through the sweat and tears, I'm looking out the passenger window. My makeup is still beat. It's crazy. Charlie and I did first looks outside the church. He broke down into tears. He said, "You're so beautiful, babe. Inside and out. I'm sorry your dad isn't here. You deserve better." I wish he wouldn't have mentioned him. That set me off inside. I would have preferred to continue the day as if he wasn't supposed to be there, because I told him and everyone else that I didn't want him there. He kissed me on the forehead and told me, "I'll see you at the altar." I smiled and watched him leave. My mom approached me and said, "I'm so sorry, baby. Can I give you away?" "I was hoping your daddy would try to." I told her to leave me alone and go sit down. I've never spoken to her like that, but I didn't care. My eyes started to swell with tears. I tried fanning them, but full and bouncy, they fell. I was pissed. I just knew my makeup was running. It wasn't. She went and sat down, and Uncle Wilson started playing "Loving You" by Minnie Riperton. It was calming. I took deep breaths as Bishop called everyone to their feet. I stood tall at the tail of the altar, alone, like much of my life up to this point. I wanted to give myself away. It was my choice. This was my man, my life. My mom and dad are living their lives with no regard for me. I had to do the same. I walked down the aisle and gave eye contact to everyone I loved and invited. I wanted to express gratitude for them coming and celebrating me and Charlie. I reached the altar, and Charlie and I began to bawl. We couldn't get through our vows. We had to exchange the letters and read them. His words were beautiful. I'm glad he wrote it down. We were a mess, but it's true love for us. Bishop gave us permission to kiss, and we did, snot noses and all. And then we jumped the broom into the next phase of our lives. The reception started with a bunch of mingling, dancing, and eating. We were up and about. We had our first dance together, then with our mothers. I threw my bouquet, and Charlie threw my garter Mama made. She made two, one for keepsake and one to give away. Uncle Wilson came with all the funks, had our country asses Cupid shuffling until the night went sour. The evening went south when my dad's drunk ass burst through the reception hall doors. He had a girl on his arm and a half-empty bottle of vodka in his hand. He shouts, "Ain't no wedding until that nigga asks my permission. Did that nigga Charlie ask my permission to marry my daughter? Then how this wedding happen? I'm calling it off." He kept screaming, "I'm calling it off," as he fixed himself a plate of food. I told Uncle Wilson and Charlie to get rid of him. My cousin Rick on my mom's side was a cop, and he was there, but he wasn't going to make a move unless he felt it absolutely necessary. My dad got riled up when Charlie said, "Is it okay if I marry Savannah? I really love her, man." My dad screams, "It's too late, nigga. That's my daughter. All she needs is me." Charlie asked Uncle Wilson, "Can you take him out of here?" My dad, offended, throws a punch at Charlie and misses, drunkenly tumbling to the floor. Pissing himself, he pulls a pocket knife from his pants, struggles to his feet, and raises it to Charlie. I screamed, "Dad, stop! Cousin Rick, do something, please!" Rick's slow ass jumped to his feet and charged at my dad. I approached Charlie, embracing him as Rick brought my dad into a headlock. I looked my dad in the eyes with tears in mine, and he started laughing until vomit fell from his mouth. I said to Rick, "We want to press charges. Take his ass to jail." My mom started screaming, "No, baby, don't do that. He's your daddy." Cousin Rick looked at me, then at Charlie, then back at me. We both looked sure of ourselves, so he obliged, handcuffing my dad and delivering him to the cage he needed to be his best self. And now, I can live happily ever after. Thank you for listening to an almost entirely untrue short story from Flawda Girls Diaries.